She's back. She's the queen of the show, and she's coming to the East Coast to slay us all. Terri Nunn.
Wow. That was awesome.
Well, it's true. It's true. Let me give out the tour date. By the way, the tour with INXS kicks off on July 17th. And in our area, August 3rd, the Wellmont Theater in Montclair, which is a beautiful theater. I don't know if you've ever played there before.
I don't think so, no.
Lovely theater, small town, very nice vibe, nice people.
Yeah.
August 4th, the Beacon Theater in the city.
New York, yeah, I know that one. That's
Right,
a gorgeous
yeah.
theater, yeah.
August 5th, the House of Blues in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
That's August 6th.
Oh, the 6th. Okay.
That's
August
what I have
6th.
here. I'm looking at I know, it's how do you remember it all?
Right.
We're rocking it.
You are. And let me tell you, this is interesting because it's Berlin and INXS. Now, I don't know who's going to be singing for INXS.
JD is going to be
JD
singing
is
for
back. Okay.
INXS, yes, he's back. Yeah, they had some personal issues with each other, and he went away. And then I heard that they did an album of their hits with all kinds of different singers on it. Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's Original Sin, yeah.
Yeah, Original Sin. And then JD came back on board, I think it was either earlier this year or last year, and they did a couple of, I think they did South America with him just to kind of feel out how it was going. And I guess it was going really well. So he's now back in the saddle.
Well, here's the thing, because I would like to see Terri Nunn come out maybe and do a song with INXS.
Well, that has been bandied about.
Has it really?
It has, though I cannot confirm if it will indeed happen or not. But we are in talks about that possibility.
What song, if you could choose any INXS song to do, which one would you like to do?
Your moves are so raw.
Yeah.
To let you know. You're one of my kind. Yeah, that was a very sexy song.
Right. It just figures that would be the one that you would.
Well, you know that I met the INXS group back in way back. We were doing our third album, so it was 1985, and they came over to England. We were working with this English producer. They came over for the first time to England, and the reason we knew about it is our record label over there was their record label. So our rep guy calls and said, hey, there's this new band, and they're coming over, and maybe you want to see them. You know, they're playing a small club, but they're really good. So we're like, okay, why not? So we go, and it's this little teeny club in London, and within the space of maybe 3 minutes, I'm watching Michael Hutchence, and I become this absolute freaking puddle on the floor. I have never felt like that watching any performer. There are many sexy performers out there,
sure,
but there was something about him that I couldn't even speak. I didn't know how to put sentences together. And after the show, of course, our rep, introduced us all, and we ended up back in Michael's hotel room. And Michael and I dated a bit while they were there.
Really?
Yeah, because they were just kind of there, doing their thing, trying to make their inroads into the, Great Britain and the whole United Kingdom. And we were there doing the record. So we had quite a nice little rendezvous. I was free, so I wasn't cheating on anybody. And then he disappeared back to Australia, and that was the last I saw of them. He was surprisingly aggressive. I find male musicians generally are not very aggressive. Mm-hmm. They use music to attract women, and that's great, because it does. It works wonderfully. Right. But I like a more aggressive guy, so I don't usually gravitate towards musicians. I gravitate towards other types of guys, and Michael was quite aggressive, and I really, really liked that. That's what I remember about him.
Well, he's sort of like a Jim Morrison type.
Exactly.
That's sort of where you prowl the stage and you're in control of everybody in the audience. And, actually you're kind of like that on stage too, now that I think of it.
I learned a lot from him.
Yeah. One of the reasons I mentioned perhaps singing with INXS on this upcoming tour, because I saw footage of you on YouTube singing with the Steve Miller Band.
Oh, yes! That was so huge for me, Dave. That was so huge. Because I'm, of course, a fan. The guy is, you know, a legend. He has more hit songs than any of us ever have a right to have. I mean, he literally had 2 hours solid of songs, and we knew every single song. I mean, ridiculous, right?
Sure.
And the funny thing is, you don't know what he looks like because he never puts his picture on any Steve Miller record. It's always that horse head thing,
right.
You know, right? So I get this message that Steve Miller would like to possibly do a song of any kind, any of his that I'd like to do. So I'm out of my mind freaking out. We get to his bus. I walk up on the bus. It's filled with cigar smoke. and I look at this guy, and he just looks kind of like somebody's dad. You know, I just couldn't figure out, you know. And I turned around to look for some rock star that would be Steve Miller.
Sure.
And from the back at my back, he said, "Hi, I'm Steve." And I turned around, and he's smoking this long cigar, and his manager's in the other part of the bus, and I said, "How you doing?" I just melted. So he said, "So what do you want to do?" So I picked a song. We did Joker, and we did another one. So get this. So on stage, you know me, I just have a great time with people.
Sure.
So I was, as he's singing, and there's like a long stretch where I don't have anything to sing, I just decided to go and dance with him, and, you know, just kind of massage his back and, you know, rub him all the way up and down his legs and up and back and stuff. And then I get up into the mic when it's my turn, and I'm singing with him on his mic, and I'm noticing he's really tensing up, like he's nervous. You know, he's he's not feeling good about it, but he's kind of laughing sort of nervously. I found out later he's a germaphobe.
Wow.
Oh my God. I mean, nobody ever does that to him. And I was literally, my mouth was practically in his mouth. I mean, because we were on the same mic, right? So I'm literally like blowing on him and singing, and, you know, there's probably spit coming out. I don't know, but and I find out later he's a germaphobe.
Well, you know what? When I saw the video, it looked to me like that was the happiest day of his life.
He had a good time.
Yeah, because I thought, probably no one climbs all over Steve Miller, and now we know why.
Maybe he's less of a germaphobe since then.
You might have cured him. In that, you'd cure me, that's for sure. You'd cure anybody.
You think I'm a healer?
I think you are. You do a form of holistic healing on stage.
Oh, that was just like a highlight of my life to get
bet.
to sing that song. I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. Oh my God! I mean, that is just like that's legendary. That's history right there.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
so brilliant.
Again, I'll mention again the tour with INXS coming to the area. August 3rd and 4th, really the closest ones to us. The Wellmont Theater in Montclair, Beacon Theater in New York City. Let me ask you, because I've talked to you and we've gone through the whole career of Berlin, but I've never asked you what the strangest or wildest thing that's ever happened on stage during a show.
Yeah, well, the first one that jumped in my mind, a lot of strange things happen because there's just so much that can go wrong, and you know, things go wrong all the time, and crazy stuff happens. But the craziest thing that I remember was we were doing a festival, and it was a multi-stage festival event, and there was a country stage, there was our stage, it was kind of like the, you know, electronic new wave stage at the time, and they had like a straight ahead pop stage. Anyway, so I remember walking around before we were to go on, because we went on later in the day, and I went by this country stage, and I saw this guy up there, and he was absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I'm not a country fan, to be honest. You know,
right.
Country's fine. I don't hate it, but it's just not my thing. But he stopped me, so I watched him for a while, and I was like, oh, he'd be real nice to buddy up to. Anyway, so I go to do my show, and for some reason, one of the PAs blew up. and it was in flames.
Wow.
I didn't know that. All I heard from behind me was, "Get off the stage!" And there were people running. Like, there was crew guys running up on the stage, like with water and with towels and trying to grab me. And there was really nowhere to go to get off the stage except from the front. So I looked down. I did look down to see if I could make it, if I jumped it. And he was standing there, and his hands were up.
Wow.
And he said, "Jump." And I jumped into his arms. And that was the beginning of a very nice evening.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you who it is because he was married at the time.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I was a bad girl, but you know, strangely enough, and I'm not proud to say this, I only had 2 one-night stands ever in all of the tours that we did. That's how boring I was.
Now, wait a minute. That's in stark contrast to the rest of the guys in the band, isn't it?
Well, of course, but they're guys. I mean, that's, you know, what are you going to, you're a guy. What are you going to do?
Right.
I should have done more. There was plenty of opportunity, and that, you know, I mean, how often are you in your 20s in a rock band?
Yeah, and you're famous all over the world. You don't look back and have regrets about anything.
Plenty of regrets.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I still love my life. I would never change anything because it's all brought me to here. But, yeah, I mean, if I could go back and change things, I'd change a lot of things.
You know, one of the things I wanted to briefly touch on here is the Between the Sheets podcast, because as I understand it, Martha Davis has moved away and is no longer a part of it.
Well, she lives in Oregon.
Okay.
And so we tried to make it work for as long as we could, but it just got, because it's a weekly podcast and we have to release a new show every week per contract, you know, it was just got too hard for her, and we totally understand. You know, it's geographically undesirable, so we weren't able to keep her on, but we are trying some guest hosts now.
Really?
And
okay.
We're having a good time with that, yeah.
Every time that I have you on, and I have to ask you, and I feel like I'm bugging you, and I don't mean to, but...
You never bug me, dude.
Well, so people have said to me, new music from Berlin.
Oh, yeah!
They're desperate.
All right, you want to hear something exciting?
Okay.
See, this is exciting even to me. It's not only exciting, it's intimidating, but I'm going for it. I'm working with the Dust Brothers, Dave. You know,
Holy mackerel! Yeah.
Beck,
Sure.
Beastie Boys, Rolling Stones, Fight Club. I mean, these guys are just killer electronic geniuses. And I personally, they can take me and my ideas to a level that I don't even know exists yet. And that's what's happening. So, yes, it is coming. We've just completed our first 2 tracks, and we're going to keep going because everybody's freaking out, and you're going to get some new music.
Oh, that is awesome.
Thank you.
So glad to hear that.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, you heard that. You can stop asking me, because I'll tell you what, I'll just mention this. A few months ago, just to let you know how loved you are in this area, a guy called up, and I forget who I was playing. It was probably some kind of weepy singer-songwriter, and a guy called up and he said...
Weepy singer.
Yeah, and he said, "Why don't you play a real woman?"
Well, I'll give you another secret, because
Sure.
this has not been announced yet anywhere. It looks like we're going to, along with the new songs that we're writing together and recording, we're going to do a remake of Sex.
Really?
With a new singer.
Whoa.
And we haven't decided who that's going to be yet. We're kind of, throwing ideas around who my male counterpart will be. But it will be pretty updated and pretty awesome nasty.
Well, maybe it could be that country star who caught you when you jumped. It could be. Well, listen, Terri, it's always a joy, a delight, a thrill to have you on. You know that you're absolutely loved here at this station and all over this area, and everybody's so excited. August 3rd, Wellmont Theater, Montclair, and the 4th at the Beacon Theater. And just in case you're wondering, I'm still not dating anyone, and that's it. I think